Ready?
Chair.
All righty.
Or recording, rather.
All right, let's go ahead and open the meeting. This is the regular meeting of the Plan and Design Commission, July 16th, 2024. It's 7 p.m. or 7:01 p.m. and I call this meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Arnold, Commissioner Mantis.
Present.
Commissioner Hecht.
Present.
Vice Chair Kirsch.
Present.
Chair Moore.
Present.
We have a quorum, Madam Chair, and I do recognize Alex Mendoza, Student Rep, Annette Littler, City Council Liaison, and Marcus Martinez, Corporation Counsel. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the first item on our agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from our regular meeting on June 18th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
Move that we approve the minutes.
Moved by Commissioner Hecht. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Seconded by Commissioner Mantis. Do we have any discussion on the minutes? I had no notes. All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes. The minutes from the 18th of June are approved. Okay. The first item of scheduled business is the public hearing PUD-2024-00014 by Ravinia Festival Association for amendment to a special use permit in the nature of a plan development and design review with modifications to city code. This hearing was opened. We are continuing the hearing. Carl, do you have anything to present to us?
Chair, I do not, unless the commission needs any presentation, or if the commission wants me to put up the conditions of approval, I can put those up as well, but there's nothing new for this application. The applicant last came June 18th, and the commission directed findings of fact draft recommending approval with the two conditions related to the exterior lighting and lighting for signage shall be turned off by midnight in season and 8 p.m. during off season. Exterior lighting shall not exceed 3,000 Kelvin color correlated temperature. Those were in the packet.
Okay, could you put those up for us?
Yes, I will. Other than that, there are no updates. All the materials in the packet are the same as they were previously.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion on the table to approve? Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have any members of the public who would like to speak on this matter? All right. Did we have I took this out of order. Does the applicant wish to speak to this? I don't think so. Okay. So can I get a motion?
So I would move that we approve the findings of fact recommending approval for an amendment to a special use permit in the nature of a plan development and design review with modifications to the city code at 418 Sheridan Road with the conditions in the findings of fact.
Okay, so motion by Vice Chair Kirsch. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Hecht. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Mantis.
Aye.
Commissioner Hecht.
Aye.
Vice Chair Kirsch.
Aye.
Chair Moore.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The motion carried. This item is approved with conditions recommended for approval to City Council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next item is public hearing SUP-2024-00002 by the Highland Park District for a zoning map amendment to rezone the public activity zoning district, a special use permit to establish a community and recreation center conditional land use, and for design review with zoning variations at 636 to 640 Ridge Road. Planner Burhop, do we have a presentation? Anything new that needs to be presented?
Very brief, a very brief
All right.
presentation. Thank you. My name is Carl Burhop. I'm a senior planner with the City of Highland Park for the Community Development Department in the Planning Division. This slide is from the original meeting. This just shows the location and reiterates the request. Again, this is a project to demolish the existing rec center and build a new rec center that's approximately half the size. And there are 3 requests before the commission. Actually, that lighting is struck, but I have that on my next slide or the slide thereafter. So this is to rezone from the R4, which is a single family, to the public activity district, and a special use permit to establish a conditional use as the park district proposes a new community and recreational center land use and design review with variation to landscaping. The exterior lighting variation has been struck. These materials were included in the packet. There are no more uplights and the bug ratings comply, and otherwise the lighting complies with the code, section 150.605. The commission asked for additional renderings and elevation plans, more detailed in nature. The park district provided additional materials that were in the packet. If the commission needs me to put those up, I can pull the packet up, otherwise they were in the packet. The commission did direct for findings of fact recommending approval. There are 2 conditions included in that, which of course are always finalized by Corporation Council at the request of City Council at that stage, but they are in essence, or they are basically all exterior lighting be no more than 3,000 Kelvin correlated color temperature, and then there's just the issue that you can't technically have 2 principal buildings on the property at the same time. So this is just worded in a way that the park district will work with the city to terminate the use of and demolish the existing community and recreation center building. The park district indicates they will demolish the existing community and rec center no more than 12 months from when the new proposed community and rec center is granted a certificate of occupancy. That language was discussed with the park district. I think that language was actually used in their narrative. Then there is a suggested condition that's not in the findings of the fact, but if the commission is on board, they can put it in there. So again, the project is phased, and the first phase is for the community and rec center and various improvements related to that. The park district did show the 2 new baseball fields and the safety village on the site plan, and staff would just suggest that the commission can discuss a condition regarding only those 2 new ball fields and safety village, that it will trigger a PUD amendment if any new exterior lighting is proposed related to those, and any new structures higher than 18 feet for those, the 2 ball fields in the safety village, except for flagpoles and backstops and fencing and netting related to the ball fields. However, as long as, if the park district comes forward and submits in the same location, then it will not trigger an SUP amendment, again, for those specific improvements, unless code variations are sought in connection to the improvements. So that's just something, a suggestion that staff would put forward for the commission to discuss, and just to be clear around those future improvements. Landscaping. So yeah, this is the one variation that's requested. So if you look at the site, the landscaping plan, and you get technical, there are technically places where there is not 5-foot in-depth planting at either the foundation or the extended overhang. The applicant proposes essentially extended overhang that act as a canopy or a porch. Plantings may not be feasible within the shade. The applicant also proposes programming and openings between the buildings and surrounding park. And I'll just point out that the commission is authorized, period, to grant landscaping variations, just period, the commission is authorized. But I will point out specifically how the code does go out of its way to also say that the commission is authorized to grant a variation, quote, for the purpose of showcasing a unique architectural feature. Again, I just put that in there. And actually, this is from previous reports, so this is not new. And then again, the exterior lighting variation is struck. I already stated that. And then the only other thing, my last slide, is I just wanted to point out that the applicant made changes to their landscaping plan that added yet more trees and more shrubs. So they're surplus. There's surplus on the landscaping quantity requirements. And then, yeah, there were findings of fact in the packet that recommend approval with these 2 conditions, which of course would be finalized by Corporation Council as appropriate. Yeah, that's staff's presentation. I can take questions, thanks.
Do we have any questions from the commission?
Yeah, this is not a PUD, right? So there wouldn't be a PUD amendment
That is
for
correct.
the ball fields. It would be just a review of the special use permit?
Are you talking about the baseball fields and or for which
Well,
you're talking about?
in the first bullet point there, yeah.
So, yeah, again, this came up because so the applicant submitted drawings that indicated, phase one, which was the community and rec center building, then also indicated phase two, the two ballparks and the safety village. And staff was just concerned and wanted to be clear that any new exterior lighting would trigger a full-blown SUP amendment. So staff just wants it on the record, as well as any new structure higher than 18 feet or anything that would require a code variation. However, staff wanted to put it to the commission if the phase two should come back entirely as an SUP amendment, or if it was reasonable that as long as the two baseball fields and the safety village complied with A and B, meaning no new exterior lighting and no new structure higher than 18 feet except those specified, if it could just be processed as a administrative design review.
So if we don't put this in, they would still,
It'd just come
they
back.
have to come
It'd just come
back
back.
for something
Yeah.
anyway, right?
It'd just come
If
back
they
as an
change it.
amendment.
I mean, I'm assuming
The end
that,
is if you have an SUP
Yep.
and it's tied to a plan, if you change those plans, then it would have to come back.
so,
They're
okay.
saying they have a phase two, we think that these are reasonable
Yep.
areas that they can operate in without it having to come back, but that's up to the commission ultimately, is whether or not you think that's appropriate. These are just suggestions that we.
Yeah, and I go there, sometimes I worry that I cause confusion. The purpose of this is the exact opposite. The purpose is to try to be clear, because I've done this long enough to know that and this can be for any application, when somebody comes in, but then there's changes later, there's always the discussion about what triggers a full-blown amendment versus what doesn't. And so since these improvements were depicted on the plans, I just, thought it would be good to be clear on the record.
But if they were to leave the ball fields in the current location and not do anything to the lighting, then nothing has to happen.
Well, the staff suggestion is that because they eventually want to redo the two ball fields. And so the
Right.
staff suggestion is as long as they redo them in the same location and there's no new lighting and there's no new structure higher than 18 feet in height and the backstops and fencing and netting, they can do that obviously, then it would just need an administrative review and approval. But new lighting, definitely SUP amendment. And of course,
Right.
anything higher than 18 feet other than those exceptions and anything that triggers a code variation, that goes without saying.
So it should say SUP amendment, not PUD amendment.
Yes, it should.
Okay. So
That was my original
I found it.
So that's my bad, right here, that's my bad. Actually, this is copied and pasted from the report. This I wrote minutes before running over here. And that's what you can see what happens when you rush. So I appreciate you making that clarification though. I do appreciate that, thank you.
Okay. Do we have any more questions for our planner, for the staff?
I don't.
Okay, does the petitioner wish to speak at this point? You don't have to speak, just offering it.
Do you want your presentation?
Yes, please, thank you. Good evening, my name's Amalia Schwartz. I'm the planning manager for the Park District of Highland Park. Thank you again to the commission for reviewing the Park District's application. The Park District team is here tonight. We have our executive director, Brian Romes, and Jeff Smith, the director of planning and projects, and our Halliburton route team, our architecture team is here tonight. We're happy to answer any questions. I'm going to turn it over to the Halliburton route team to review any of the some of the changes that were made, the follow-up items that Carl reviewed. And again, we're happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for the applicant? Oh, sorry.
Precedent's done, but happy to answer any questions now.
Do we have any questions for the applicant?
I had one question with regard to the renderings. I don't know if you were going to get into that. I can save that if so.
Oh, no, this is probably a good point.
Okay.
Time to look at them.
They're all sworn in before.
They were all sworn in before.
Are your renderings in here or do you want me to pull them up? Okay, then you have, so let me, and then you can use the clicker, sorry.
That's all right. Can you refresh us with your name?
Yes, I will. Hi, good evening.
Hi.
Eric Reisinger, Managing
Okay.
Partner, Halliburton Root, Architect for the project.
Great.
Let's see.
And I think I do remember swearing you in.
Yes.
couple weeks ago.
Happy to do it again if you would
That's
like. So Barb, we have the flat elevations, yeah. Well, I'm gonna do two things. So just to give us an orientation. From the last time that we were here, we were talking about just the renderings and just how they were appearing. We'd mentioned that we have both masonry and the cementitious panels on the building, of which we were highlighting the colors of the Park District of Highland Park. And so this is just that reference of that perspective that we had. And then looking at the materiality, so in the packets that you received, both up and up on the screen here, so this is the east elevation facing Ridge Road. Happy to answer the questions that you might have on this.
Sure, thank you. So I guess my question was, we've, in I guess recent applications, we've been pretty focused in on where HVAC is gonna go.
Yes.
And I didn't really have a good understanding based on the packet where the HVAC and mechanical units are gonna be. If you can point those out to me,
Yes.
that would be great.
So in this elevation, so we can see we have that kind of first ridge line above the masonry, then we have the clear story beyond. They're actually tucked into the roof in a mechanical well. So they actually sit, so if I were to cut a cross section, you'd actually see almost like this bathtub sitting inside kind of that hallway. So this is actually the elevation with it screened. And so we've been working with mechanical engineers to make sure that they sit in that bathtub in that well. So it's really kind of from where the clear story is on the left side, which is the south end, probably 3/4 of the way towards the north.
Perfect. I didn't see them actually
Yeah.
depicted, so I wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that I was really clear on where that was gonna be. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any more questions for the applicant?
I guess I have one
Oh,
other
sure, go
one in light of the questions that we just asked staff. Regarding the baseball fields, is there a plan to, at some point when those get constructed, put lighting, or are those gonna just be, as, I guess, what has been the
So
plan
there
thus
is lighting
far?
there currently.
Okay,
And so I believe that our intent is to maintain the lighting on one of the fields.
that's all I have.
And are there conditions for the lighting on the fields, like in terms of turning them off at a certain point at night? Do we know?
Do you currently have conditions? You want to speak to that?
Yeah, we would follow the existing conditions that we do right now, but I know we'd have to come back when we add those lights anyway, because we will be adding new lights, so.
Okay.
But they are off at 10 o'clock.
Okay, thanks.
They're only on during when the fields are in use.
Oh, yeah, correct.
Okay,
Chair,
yes,
may I also address that?
sure.
The existing property right now, the only special use permit is for it's like a nursery use on the northwest part of the property. The existing park doesn't have a special use permit.
Right, that's why I kind of asked that
Right,
question,
okay.
because
I
I was
just wanted-
wondering if there were already rules, or if regardless, we're gonna have to come back with those rules at some point.
Okay, just one.
So, okay,
Again, to the extent that they don't change the lights, there will be no rules. It's the rules, it's Park District operational rules.
Right.
It's not a land use
Right.
condition at that point. So-
I was just
Yeah, they're in
curious.
our policies and procedures.
Right.
Okay, thank you. All right, any more questions? Do we have any comment from the public regarding this? Alrighty, no. So, I guess we would be looking for a motion and then any particular discussion we might like to have.
Do we have to take these as three motions?
I would. They're pretty distinct, so you can take them as the text amendment, the SUP, and then the remaining, I think, design review.
Okay, so if I may, Madam Chair, I would move that we recommend approval of a change in the zoning map to rezone this parcel to public activity.
Okay, did we not already do that 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
No, we didn't take-
You directed findings of fact.
We directed findings.
Yes, so we need votes on each of these to
All right,
finalize
so
everything.
the first one is, okay, as you said, is the zoning map amendment to rezone the public activity area. We have a motion on the table, or we have a motion made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Hecht. Any discussion on this one?
Just clarifying the motion is this is to approve the findings of fact recommending approval of the rezoning or?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Correct.
yes, thank you. Approving, okay, the findings of fact, turning this into a PA zoning district.
So to the extent that the initial motion didn't also recommend approval to the, for the text amendment, I would ask that that also be included in the motion. So, recommending or adopting the findings of fact as well as recommending approval of the
Okay.
text amendment.
Would you
I would-
restate or amend your motion, please, Vice Chair Kirch?
All right, I'm motioning that we approve the findings of fact recommending approval of the zoning change to public activity as well as
Recommending approval.
recommending approval of the text amendment.
Then we just need the seconder to.
Does our seconder approve the amendment? All right, so do we have any discussion? All right, please call the roll.
Commissioner Mantis.
Aye.
Commissioner Hecht.
Aye.
Vice Chair Kirsch.
Aye.
Chair Moore.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The motion carries. This item has been recommended to City Council, these two items, the zoning map and text amendment.
Okay, so now
Yeah, zoning map amendment. It's just a zoning map amendment.
zoning map, sorry, not zoning text.
I thought,
No.
it was just a point of order. Attorney Martinez, did you indicate that there was a zoning text amendment as well with this?
There's just the zoning
Sure.
map if,
This is just a zoning map amendment to rezone from R4 to PA. There's no zoning text amendment.
oh, yeah, to the extent that if I said zoning
Yeah, I'm sorry.
text, definitely not zoning text, zoning map.
Okay, the zoning map, I mean, the vote did carry, so we did have that in it. The zoning text portion is just moved then, right?
Right, Scrivener's,
Yep.
my Scrivener's there.
Thank you.
Whatever is in the findings of fact. Okay. All right, so the second item would be for the special use permit to establish the community and recreation center conditional land use, correct? Is that the second thing we're voting on?
That is correct. And again, I'll just remind the commission that in the findings of fact that are in the packet, these two conditions are included. And then to what extent the commission wants to discuss the third is up to the commission regarding the future phase 2 improvements for the ball field, the 2 ball fields and in the safety village. But these two are in the findings of fact. I just want to make that clear so that if a motion is made, the motioner knows what is being motioned.
Wonderful.
But yes, it is for the special use permit to establish that conditional use. That is correct.
Okay, can I get a motion for this?
I move that we approve the findings of fact recommending approval of the special use permit to establish community and recreation center conditional land use at 636 through 640 Ridge Road.
Second.
With the accompanying conditions.
So including the 2 here plus the 2 extra ones, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And then recommending approval.
I thought I said that, but.
That was recommending, approving the findings of fact. So there's the
Right.
findings of fact and then recommending approval to the city council.
Yes.
Second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Kirch. Okay, any more discussion? Are we okay with all the conditions that we've listed?
Can I see the other ones one more time, please?
Yeah, and again, this is what I have up here. Our corp counsel will finalize anything.
Okay, any more discussion on that? We all good? Okay, so please call the roll.
Commissioner Mantis.
Aye.
Commissioner Hecht.
Aye.
Vice Chair Kirsch.
Aye.
Chair Moore.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The motion carries. This item's been recommended to City Council with the conditions as stated.
Okay, and then the third item is approving the findings of fact for the design review, is this correct?
Yes, with variation to landscape.
Come on. You gotta go.
That was one for each of us.
Yeah.
Okay,
Next meeting, next meeting.
next meeting. So can I get a motion?
I move that we approve the design review with variations
I think you're
for
approving the findings of fact.
findings of fact recommending, no, we don't recommend. The findings of fact, approving the design review with variations for the property at 636, 640 Ridge Road.
Do I have all right, so that was motioned by Vice Chair Kirch. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Hatt. Any discussion
A
amongst?
question for council, is the zoning variations portion a recommendation?
No, those are within your authority.
That's all?
Because of the design reviews.
It's all design, okay.
That's correct. I even have the section cited here, 150.2225 sub B sub 2.
Okay,
The commission is authorized to grant this variation.
okay.
So this vote will, should that pass, this will just be reported to council that you will have essentially already granted it.
Okay. Any discussion amongst the commission? All right, please call the roll.
Commissioner Mantis.
Aye.
Commissioner Heck.
Aye.
Vice Chair Kirsch.
Aye.
And Chair Moore.
Aye.
The ayes have it, the motion carries. This item has been approved.
All right, thank you. All righty,
Thank
move.
you.
Oh,
Park
thank you
District,
so
thank
much
you
for
all
coming
for being
again.
here. Okay.
All right, next item is an information item, an administrative design review update. Do we have one from
I
the
do.
staff?
I have one item. Dunkin' Donuts, exterior changes, 1990 Skokie Valley Road.
Intersection of Park Avenue and 41, Park Avenue West and 41. They're rebranding. Dunkin' Donuts is taking on just an update of their look and feel out there.
Okay,
So just becoming Dunkin' now, right?
I believe so. Yeah, the donuts is kind of taking a powder. They have a whole different package of things that they're
Yeah.
doing, and it's standard. Yep.
That's
Kind of like you may recall, a couple of years ago, Casey's redid their look from Buc-ee's, then became Casey's, and they rebranded they rewrapped it, if you will.
all right, thank you.
I think they're going to have Baskin and Robbins as part of it too. I'm not sure.
What was that?
Baskin and Robbins as part of it. Like, you know
Yes.
how they joined, it's a
Yes.
subsidiary now. Yeah. So yeah, that was administratively approved the other day.
Okay. All right, next regular meeting is scheduled for August 20th, 2024. We do not have a meeting on August
6th.
6th, because it is the National Night Out for the police departments across the US. So we were encouraging
Right
people
outside.
to attend
Yeah.
the National Night Out in front, meet the police officers, meet some other organizations in town, and bring your friends and neighbors.
Absolutely.
So,
And that will be right here, right up front.
and that'll be right out front here, so like you're coming here anyway. But you don't have to come up and sit on the dais. Regarding the August 20th meeting, I just want to let you know I will not be there for that meeting.
Thank you for letting us know. So other commission members, please, keep that in mind. Does everyone feel that they will be able to be at that meeting? I will announce then today, also City Council, Mayor recommended and the council concurred with an appointment last night of Josh Nanis to the Plan and Design Commission. His term will commence on August 1st, and Carl will do a good job at doing his, Josh Nanis.
And he apologizes. He was at an event with the mayor and some of the city council members this evening, but he had something following it. That's another reason he was unable to come tonight. But he is the former chair of the BDAG, the Business Economic Development Advisory Group, and he is filling the slot that Barissa Bruckman vacated because she is now on the city council. And so, but I wasn't giving up this liaisonship to a former commissioner just yet.
All righty.
And so, like I said, we look forward to that. So we have a new member. So unless anyone on the dais now, I know the chair, you've just said you can't make it, but please, if there's any issues with the 20th, let us know as soon as you can, okay? We should be okay with our new member and all, and so that should help. But just want to make sure that we have a sense of who will be able to be at that meeting. And typically, we don't have somebody come the next day after they're appointed to it.
Right.
I mean, we have to do,
They have to get
a meet and
onboarded.
greet, we have to bring them up to speed,
Right,
so,
to get
yeah.
their training in.
And he's a dad with little kids, and so he actually had other things going on in the evening.
Imagine that.
Imagine.
Yes.
I don't know, do any of you know about that anymore?
Okay, can we get a case briefing? Oh,
Do we have anything on the agenda for the 20th as of this point?
So I don't believe there'll be any public hearing application, well, it's submitted by an applicant. There won't be any public hearing applications. The design review is still open. That's a 3-week. So I'm not able to comment on that yet. There's still time for that.
Yeah, and just depending on some of staff's ongoing work with regard to text amendments, there may be a text amendment package on that meeting. So we'll let you know as we get closer, but like Carl said, we still have some time for folks to bring in some things, so we don't want to foreclose a meeting just yet.
Right.
of course,
We'll all
of
understand
course.
that.
Okay, do we have a case briefing?
August 6th is next week.
I do not.
Alrighty.
Oh, I did actually, one item, just as an FYI, one item, and then I did have one other item. We did have 55 St. John's.
Oh, right.
You may recall Dollop, the coffee is coming into the first floor, the ground floor commercial space at that multifamily building that was approved by City Council by PUD. So we're very excited about that. The council was as well, and that item was unanimously approved 6-0, all members present last night. And so we're looking forward to that. The subsidiary recommendation that was beyond the scope of the commission's, purview was directed to staff to take a look at in terms of the parking lot, the Braeside parking lot there, as to whether or not additional parking could be ensured to be available for this type of use across the street, not just taken up by commuter parking or metered parking that was too short a time period or some other types of restrictions. So that work will be ongoing. We'll be communicating that to police, and they were there, so we'll be coordinating with them and reviewing that matter. And then changes will happen. None of those changes will need to come before council, though.
Right.
I mean, before the Plan and Design
Right.
Commission, I should say.
Thank you for passing along our concerns
Yes,
to the
absolutely.
appropriate parties.
Council
No,
understood
that
that.
was really helpful. And by the way, just so you know, we really appreciated seeing all the letters also from the neighborhood supporting everything that you put forward. So it really put a good light on PDC to the city council. So we thank you for that too, and staff.
All right. Do we have any business from the public? We have no public, so presumably there is no business from the public.
I did have one other item.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm
More
jumping
of an
ahead.
FYI, so that was a case briefing. It was a case that came before you and it was approved as recommended. And then also last night, a special license was approved for the enclosed area outside of what was the Belos, then the Diver, and now soon to be Danucci's. And so that special license included that enclosed indoor-outdoor room, as I like to refer to it as, that's existing. And it extended that licensed area to include a portion of the, what we call the courtyard in front of that area, where Belos used to have tables out for outdoor dining. So too does Danucci's want that. And so those two, that special license was approved last night. And there was also a sign variation approved by the city council, which they are authorized to do. And that sign package included a projecting sign, which does require a sign package approval. We grouped those two items together for council approval last night. And pursuant to their approval of the license, I'm subsequently going to approve the design review for the Danucci's changes that they're going to make to that structure, which include a new awning, which is typically something that we would do via administrative approval. So they're going to redo that. They're going to put an awning on the front, and along the side, they're going to change out the awning that exists there and put on a new awning that meets their branding for Danucci's.
Right.
So we're looking forward to that. They are working inside. Permits were issued at the end of May. and they're doing their interior fit out now. So we look forward to them opening this fall and very excited about it.
All right, wonderful. Okay.
That's all, thank you.
No problem. Sorry to have
That's
jumped the
okay.
gun. No business from the public. And then I guess that just leaves us with adjournment. So can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Mantis,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Hecht. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes. The meeting is adjourned.
Wow, my favorite kind of an efficient.